Where is he? It's 5 o'clock now. We've only got the studio for 2 hours. I hope he doesn't take too much long.
Hello, Shaun.
Hello. You're just
Good
in
to see
time.
you.
Yeah, welcome.
I was just having a late lunch,
Yes.
here now. Let's go in. I think we have to. So we're outside. This is the building. I think it's a fully automated system. They told me on the email.
Oh, okay, that's good to hear.
we won't have to. They're still socially distancing in BBC Cardiff.
I respect it.
So we have to. I think we have to ring this bell. Hello. This is John and Shaun's House Party podcast. We got a recording studio booked. Oh, the door's opened. Okay, let's go. I think we should go in then. Okay. There's a big flashing arrow showing us where to go. Let's just follow that. I think we seem to be in like one of the basement rooms. Okay. But yeah, how have you been, Shaun? I haven't seen you since the last podcast.
Good. Yes. It's been a while. I don't really know what I've done the last few months. I just feel like I've been busy.
Okay.
But I don't really know what I've done. Do you know what you've done?
I don't think that's any of your business. To be honest, but
I apologise for asking.
Here's our studio. Okay. Right. Let's get set up. Lucky I brought my camping chair because they've only provided us with one chair.
Oh, thank you for yielding this official chair to me.
The official BBC recording chair to you. That's fine. Okay, I think there's some buttons we can press and it will pour some tea. I think, Shaun. So let's just press those buttons. But we don't get our normal fancy tea this time on the road. We've just got some black tea, breakfast tea by the looks. Right. So yeah, we only got an hour and a half now, I think, because we're running a bit late.
Unfortunately,
so let's get going. Let's get this mic turned on. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to John and Shaun's House Party podcast. Back from an absence. We're not in the house of sizzling tofu today. We're in BBC Cardiff in their basement recording studio. So you might be wondering why we're here and why there's been such a big gap since the last podcast. Well, it's because our sponsor was not happy with Monarchy Minute. He was really furious on that stunt we pulled where we just said there was no news and played the piano. Do you remember that, Shaun?
I remember it well. It's unfortunate. I mean, that's just the way the monarchy is. It's not their job to regenerate. Yeah. Well, one some could argue it was, but they failed. They let us down, so we did what we could.
No, I support that, Shaun, but we had a 3-hour Zoom call with our sponsor, and he really just shouted for 3 hours down Zoom. So consequently, because he thought we weren't taking Monarchy Minute seriously enough, and that was the one term that we had to comply with to get our podcast, he withdrew the microphone.
Yes.
So we've been without a mic all this time, and we've just managed to scrape together enough money to hire the BBC recording studio this episode. We did have a podcast that was never released, due to that disastrous charity shop showdown.
Indeed.
That probably won't see the light of day. That also contributed to the delay because I was in hospital for some time, but I'm better now. But yeah, it's good to be back, and we are doing a fundraiser to raise money for a new microphone, and we're asking all our listeners to go out and do something fun to raise a bit of money, and then give us a call in this episode, and we'll take your call and you can tell us what you did and how much money you raised for us.
Yes, we have a very big one of those big money dials, but unfortunately, because this is an audio news show, you can't see it, but we can.
It's very awkward to take on the train.
We did get a few questions, but I just kind of I glared at people, and then they stopped. They looked away, and we carried on with our journey.
We actually have Shay here with us. Though he's not going to be speaking because he's now part of a actors union, and if he speaks, we have to pay him. So he's going to just be answering the phones off mic, and then he'll be passing on the calls to us.
Thank you, Shay, for your help.
Thank you, Shay. Yeah. Technically, he should be able to speak because this is more of a documentary than a narrative, dramatic podcast. But let's not anger the unions.
The fact that he's here at all is from their generosity. So yeah, we don't want to cause any issues there.
But yeah, I think that's one last bit of admin. Our as always, we have somebody to do our little musical interludes between segments. Because this is a bit of a celebratory reboot of the podcast,
yes,
and to hopefully draw some new fundraisers in, we got a very big star. We got Sabrina Carpenter coming.
Ooh, this is exciting.
So she wasn't outside yet, so I guess she'll be arriving in a bit later.
Yes.
I hope she can get through the automated door. So in the meantime, I think I'll just do some placeholder interludes, and then in post, or when she turns up, of course, Sabrina Carpenter will be taking it over.
Yes.
So very exciting. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the podcast. Espresso, 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 espresso. We all love espresso. And now back to our first segment, which is the classic brought, gifted, and borrowed. So this is the quiz, Shaun, where I give you 3 items. One's bought by myself.
Yes.
One has been gifted to me, perhaps bought by someone else.
Yes.
And one has been borrowed.
Right.
Or I pilfered it. I just took it, and you have to guess which one is which.
Okay.
So I got 3 items here, Shaun. So I'll give you. They all got a bit of a media theme this time.
Yes. They're all blue as well.
They're all blue as well. So I'll give you the first item.
Okay, so this is a square DVD video container for Life is a Cabaret, which was directed by Bob Fosse and has various actors and so on in it. And I can see here, I thought I recognised this from it looks like it's distributed within the Daily Mirror. I feel like I've had things like this before, which are like newspaper DVDs. I don't actually remember. It's from my youth, so I don't actually remember seeing one of these in person. I always only ever, at least within the paper. But
they're in like cardboard. It's like a cardboard slipcase that's like the size of a CD case.
Right.
That's it. That's it. But yeah, do you think the days of getting free DVDs in newspapers?
Yeah, it feels like. I mean, I imagine in the past,
do you think
the
you
newspapers.
see June in the Daily
Star?
Doubt it.
I think they're so cash poor. I mean, I feel like the newspapers are so hanging on. Maybe at least, I don't know. They probably stabilised, but I feel like the glory days behind them, and it'd be hard to justify the cost. I mean, I presume maybe it's a net money maker for them distributing this. I don't know what the finances are.
They often did sort of TV show episodes.
Right.
Like I think there was Poirot they would have done DVDs of Poirot episodes.
Okay, that makes
like
more sense if you get people into the
Pride
series
and
that
Prejudice
way.
and Jane Austen sort of stuff, and Bleak House and stuff. So films perhaps were rarer, and some newspapers did do a big run of a lot of kind of horror films. I think like Halloween and Hellraiser and stuff like that. So they did do other stuff, but that's Cabaret, the musical about the throuple, the bisexual throuple in Weimar, Germany, in the sort of decadent Weimar era, with like the sort of rising Nazism in the background, that they sort of also sort of bohemian that they don't even barely address or do anything about.
Sure, yes.
So that's the Weimar Republic for you. But I will say, I have physically not watched any of these 3 I'm giving you. I might have watched the film or whatever it is, but I haven't watched the actual physical disc that you have in your hand.
I see, okay.
So yeah, moving on to the next one then.
Yes, so this is it's another DVD video. It's an interesting container. I'll open up shortly, but it's a Julie Taymor film, Titus, starring Anthony Hopkins and Jessica Lange. Oh, how do you know?
Lange.
Lange. Yeah. So yeah, we have Mr. Hopkins. It was like covered in blue paint, mostly bits of clearer skin, but I'm not quite sure why. It's kind of like crusty, dried up paint. Apparently it's as entertaining as it is visually stunning, so I'll take their word for that. That's good. That's quite the hairstyle. One of our cast members
it's
has.
an adaptation of a Shakespearean play that's set in ancient Rome,
right.
about Emperor Titus. Titus wasn't well, he was an unwilling emperor. I think he was a general who came back and he didn't want to be an emperor, but they sort of, and I think he refused to be the emperor, and the person who got put into power in his stead had a lot of animosity towards him because he was still the most popular kind of person, and but it's quite a bloody Shakespearean tragedy, and it's got a strange like anachronistic setting, so everyone's in like kind of more fascist uniforms or whatever, and they have some kind of technology and stuff like that.
Oh, are those? Is that like USB in her hair?
Maybe it's made from weird.
Yeah,
wires.
just one of the characters. It looks like they have USB cables in their hair, but I'm not sure if that's
braiding. I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Okay, and opening up to see what because this is like a multi-pack. Yes, it is a disc 1 and disc 2. So yeah, it's a two-parter. Quite long now.
Yeah, I think the seconds were just extras.
Okay.
But yeah, you might notice there's something missing.
Oh, okay.
Missing. Not more from like the kind of cover perspective rather than.
I mean, the thing that comes to mind, they haven't.
Then there's no content missing from it, but just.
I mean, the thing I could imagine would be like the star ratings with various newspapers. Okay. That's the first thing that comes to mind. But I probably haven't seen a lot of DVD covers in a long time, so I think wherever you tell me, I'll be like, oh, of course. But nothing immediately stands out as missing.
Well, here's the third object.
Okay. So this is a VHS. I haven't had one of these in quite a long time. So the casing is quite generic, I presume. We have Memorex, super high quality, 3 hour runtime, or like a capability, I guess, and a lifetime guarantee.
So it's a recordable VHS rather than a film release.
And let's see how my German is. Das Vierte Reich, Handlungssauf 2025. Are those two different films on here, or one? Is that one? What?
I don't know, Shaun.
You don't know this. You didn't record it yourself.
Don't know.
Oh, of course you can't give it away yet. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, otherwise the casing doesn't give much more to say.
Are you able to translate any of those words?
I would go with the Virtuous Reich.
The Virtuous Reich, okay.
So Vierte, either that or I'd say green, but that's probably more like a French. It would be hard. And Handlungssauf is far beyond me. 2025, fairly obvious. It's a difficult one, but yeah, I'll go with the Virtuous Reich as my translation.
Okay. Let's pivot then into your guesses for what one is bought, borrowed, and gifted.
So I'm going to go with borrowed as the Daily Mirror.
Okay.
Borrowed, it's a difficult term, but it feels. I don't feel like you're someone who would buy the Daily Mirror yourself, nor do I feel like there's anyone in your circle would go out the way to gift you a Daily Mirror items. It feels like the kind of thing.
It's quite a cheap present.
Yeah, it feels like the kind of thing you would have like just gotten from somewhere. I can imagine maybe your parents at some point had it, and maybe you'd count that as a borrowing action.
Right.
I'm gonna go gifted as the VHS as it feels like the kind of thing someone would gift to you, and then I'll say you bought Titus from trying to think of where it would be. I'll give CEX as my guess.
Well, all your guesses are right, Shaun.
Yay!
3 out of 3. I did indeed borrow Cabaret.
Mm-hmm.
The VHS tape, awful present, but I think the joke is it's got some Nazi stuff on it.
Sure.
As suggested by the side. So I suspect this is blank. I don't think there's anything recorded on it. And I'm not inclined to find out if it's neo-Nazi rally.
Sure. Just to interject, when is the last time you played a VHS?
A long time since I was.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you'd gotten around because obviously I know you're like a big DVD and Blu-ray a collector. I own it to some degree, but yeah, for me, it's been a long time since I played one myself.
Yeah, no, I used to have a little box TV that had an inbuilt VHS player, but that was a long while away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to get into nowadays if you wanted to, because obviously you need like VRT cables and like an old TV.
Yeah,
TVs just don't. It's like old game consoles don't really work on new TVs now.
Yeah.
Same with VHS players.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one, Titus. So this one I bought online, and I got a refund for this.
Huh? Okay.
Because the thing that's missing, Shaun, is the British Board of Film Classification rating.
Oh, yeah.
Which suggests it's not a UK release.
Right.
And I knew that it wasn't a UK release because I noticed that before I bought it. But I thought, and I think the website said it was whatever region. It's not region 2 because that's Blu-ray, I think. But whatever. No, yeah, region 2, I think. That should have played in the UK's DVD player. So I thought it was from Europe, but it turned out it was actually just the American release.
Right.
So I couldn't watch it.
Right.
I had to rent it from a DVD, the 20th Century Flicks in the end. So I have seen it now, but yeah, this is a unwatchable DVD. But yeah, well done, Shaun. 3 out of 3. Exciting for you. The main genesis of that game was that VHS tape. I thought I got no use for.
Yes.
I might as well at least milk it for the podcast before putting it away and never looking at it again. But yeah. Now we've got a very exciting section where you will be discussing your top 10 films that you watched this year.
Yes.
But because we've just been chatting a little bit about movies, shall I do a little bit of a poetry reading?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's just get the Sabrina Carpenter back on. Espresso, espresso, we all drink espressos together. And we're back. I've got a poetry book, The Adventures of Tom Bombadillo. I'll flick through it and I'll read a poem. Okay. This poem is titled The Mulips. It's not right. Okay. The Mulips. The shadows where the mulips jowl are dark and wet as ink, and slow and softly rings their bow, as in the slime you sink. You sink into the slime who dare to knock upon their door, while down the grinning gargoyles stare, and noisome waters pour. Besides the rotten river's strand, the drooping willows weep, and gloomily the gore crows stand, croaking in their sleep. Over the Murdoch mountains, a long and weary way, in a mouldy valley where the trees are grey, by a dark pool's borders, without wind or tide, moonless and sunless, the mulips hide. The cellars where the mulips sit are deep and dank and cold, with single sickly candle lit, and there they count their gold. Their walls are wet, their ceilings drip, their feet upon the floor go softly with a squish, flat flip, as they sidle to the door. They peep out slyly through a crack, their feeling fingers creep, and when they're finished in a sack, your bones they take to keep. Beyond the Mulek mountains, a long and lonely road, through the spider shadows and marsh of toad, and through the wood of hanging trees and the gallow weeds, you go to find the mulips, and the mulips feed. The truth is, Shaun, we had to read that poem because in the BBC recording contract, we had to add a cultural element to the podcast. They don't recognise films, even though we're doing a top 10 films, they don't recognise that as a cultural element.
Well, I'm hoping I hope we have some influence on changing that. But for now, we have to work the rules we're given. That's fine.
No, that's fine. Let's just check in with Shay. Shay, any calls on our fundraisers yet? No.
Oh dear. Okay. It's not looking positive. We've still got plenty of time.
No, we still have plenty of time. I guess people have to go. People have to think of what to do and get out and do it, and then get some money and then call in. So yeah, let's give them a bit of time.
Absolutely.
But your count is still on 0 at the moment. But yeah, let's move to your top 10 then. Espresso, espresso. We all drink espressos in the morning. Okay, Shaun. Your top 10 movies of the year.
Yes. Are you able to present this?
Yes. Shall I present? So these are ones that you watched this year.
Yes.
They're not necessarily 2024
yes.
releases. And when I say this year, I mean last year. So shall I start from number 10?
Yes.
I will read up, and after each one, you speak a little bit about it.
Absolutely.
And I will also join the dialogue.
Yes.
So number 10, so your 10th favourite film you watched in 2024 is Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, a 2004 release by Michael Gondry.
Yes, so this was quite late in the year. It was unfortunately I chose to watch it with my mum, and she didn't take too well to it. It's kind of interesting when it has kind of like a bit of a non-linear timeline, which can be maybe difficult to follow. But yeah, it's an interesting exploration of memory, I guess, and it's kind of charts a relationship falling apart, but you sort of see it backwards, and that's just like an interesting way to explore a relationship and like what makes a good one and a bad one. And you get the fun of watching
Tim Curry and Kate Winslet.
Yes, them, and you also have some Hulk, the Hulk actor, and Mary Jane.
What, Mark Ruffalo?
Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, isn't it? And Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst, yes. And they're bouncing together on the bed, drunk, while they're wiping poor Jim Carrey's mind of a relationship. So that was kind of like fun.
So the I haven't seen it for quite a while, but I think the story roughly is Jim Carrey wants to forget about his past relationship.
Yes.
So he hires some people to erase the memories, but as they're erasing the memories, he's re-experiencing them or something.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And I guess you can a debate with is this technically a non-linear film, because it's not telling the story out of order, because he's experiencing in the conframes of the story.
Right.
The story's told from A to B, let's say, but it's just the story is he's remembering bits and pieces from the past.
But there's also a thing at the start of the movie. The part of it is that he re-meets his girlfriend, and that they show you the re-meeting first, so you think that's the first time. But it turns out towards the end you find out that was after the second time. It was so that was confusing, and my mum was like explaining it to me, and I did my best. But
so yeah, it's kind of surrealist, isn't it? There's some weird moments where he's kind of re-experiencing his past.
Yeah, so it was just something I thought it's an interesting storytelling method here.
So Michael Gondry, the director, he's done a lot of music videos. I don't know if you could sort of tell that through the style of the film, but he might be quite a music video director in the sort of surrealism of the scenes and stuff like that.
I'd have to see his videos to, I guess, make the link. It didn't come out to me, and it's not so much now, but that's interesting.
And, it was written by Charlie Kaufman, who I don't know if his name you recognise.
Sadly not.
But he wrote and directed the film I'm Thinking of Ending Things, among other things, which is not on your top 10 list.
It's one I don't believe I've seen, or have and I've forgotten.
I was going to suggest it might be on your bottom 10 list, because you wrote quite a scathing review, as I remember. It's the film where Jesse Plemons and the other Jesse go on the car trip to visit her parents.
That was dreadful. That one. That's. I prefer the writing for Spotless Mind. Yeah, that was a. I don't know if you have time for me to complain about that film, but it was a mess.
You didn't like the ballet, did you?
I didn't like many things. The ballet was a turning point of like, it was unforgivable at that point.
Okay, but yeah, let's stay positive though, and just stick on your top 10. But it's an interesting contrast that you really liked one Charlie Kaufman film, but really did not like another Charlie Kaufman film. Number 9 is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, 2016 by David Yates.
Yeah, I've been kind of on a roll of watching the series, and that is the first in series. I think it benefits from getting to be the original, so some of its concepts are new to it. Yeah, I mean, the Harry Potter series is meaningful to me. I think our generation sort of grew up alongside these characters to some extent, so it's fun to have films sort of set in that world. And interesting sort of seeing it set decades before, so it's sort of set in the 1920s, I believe. And at least the first film was set in New York, and it's kind of fun seeing that world, that wizarding world in like a very different context. And Newt Scamander, the main character, is like a fun kind of like a magizoologist, they sort of call him, so working with magical creatures. And I'm about him and his fashion, I guess.
BBC Saturday night programming.
Yes,
hero, isn't he? Like a Doctor Who.
Or he's very safe character, I guess. Yeah.
So, something like that. But very safe, likable.
Yes.
Young, fresh-faced character who gets up into hijinks.
Yes.
And has a bit of magic to him. I don't have much. I just got to say, this is an interesting sort of. It's one of those big franchises where I just think a lot of people in it who weren't famous already, like Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah.
Just haven't really gone on to do much. Like you got Catherine Watterson,
right? Yep.
Who's the woman in it.
Yes.
And she's not been in much since.
No, I don't recognise her.
She was in a film I like called Queen of Earth.
Okay.
Which is sort of this weird psychological drama film. That's one of those sort of films that it's kind of like a horror, but it's not really in the horror genre. But it's sort of how it's like an everyday horror in that you just experience someone's sort of anxiety or their like mental state, and it just becomes kind of uncomfortable. Stuff like Sugar Baby, with Rachel Sennott and Krisha, two other films like that. But yeah, it's just an interesting like the new Star Wars trial, like films are a bit like that with like Daisy Ridley not doing.
Yeah, it's true. Much. Yeah, I haven't seen her do too much. Yeah, I feel like it helped them a bit, but yeah, I would say they've gone on to be as mainstream.
Even like Emilia Clarke from like Game of Thrones hasn't.
She did that last Christmas.
Yeah, so I think they're all still working, but that's what I mean. They're all sort of doing these like strange, just like.
I feel like maybe it's an episode. I feel like there's less big Hollywood superstars in general. Though I feel like there's generations of like very famous actors. Like I guess we were talking about
Jim Carrey. We were talking about it.
Jim Carrey, like some people who are in like everything. But I think it's hard for me to identify new talent who have that level of like they're just in everything now. Maybe it's just Hollywood's gonna. Okay, you got me. Okay, you got me. Okay, okay. So there's some perhaps.
Anna Taylor-Joy, I think that's.
Okay, you made okay. Now you're pointing that maybe that's true. Is
Morgan
maybe
Quayle a little bit now? She's getting there. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, good. Number 8, you got Grand Theft Hamlet, 2024. Directed by Sam Crane and Penny Grills.
Yeah. This. I didn't expect it like this as much as I did, but it's a fun, just concept to.
So what is the concept?
Yeah, so the concept is two chaps are playing Grand Theft Auto, and they find a stage, and the idea wouldn't it be fun to do a play within the game, and so they go about doing this, and the film is structured as a documentary more than actually showing the final work as such. But yeah, it charts them trying to find people to do a play of Hamlet, and getting actors to do it, and then doing rehearsals, and then eventually doing a performance which they streamed live on Twitch, I believe. And it's just quite fun. It's funny, but also endearing. It's a hard one to know of like how genuine it was. Certain parts felt staged-ish, but for the most part, reenacted.
It was all done in open lobbies, so there was like other players just coming along and like blowing them up.
Yeah. It's I guess that is the challenge of it. It's a game where people kill each other, and they have to try and work within that. They had like people working as security to try and keep the actors safe as they rehearsed. And
it was a very lockdown film in the sense that you have to contextualise it in that people can't really leave the house, and they're spending a lot of time indoors playing video games,
and that adds kind of a bit of stress to it, because it was sort of towards the end of lockdown. They certainly felt, it seemed like at the time, of we got to get this done because people are starting to actually go out and get jobs and we needed to get this done soon.
And the whole point is that they were theatre actors, and with lockdown, their live theatre. I think the main person in it was going to be Harry Potter in the Curse of the whatever that Harry Potter theatre.
Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. He was going to be playing in that, and that got cancelled.
Right.
So that was the big job he lost. So yeah, that's why they were doing it, was to do something in that meantime. And obviously, yeah, when lockdown came to the end, almost the reason for the project to exist was coming to the end. So they had to get it done. Did you feel like it told Hamlet?
No.
Very well.
I learned a small amount, as I'm someone who hasn't actually seen Hamlet in any form. So, but no, I'd feel like I'd at the very least want to see the full Twitch stream, or ideally see like a more a proper performance of it somewhere. I would like. I have to see, since there's like the Globe, I think the Globe Theatre in London does like Shakespeare. I guess you see Shakespeare in a lot of places, but that would be a fun place to try and see it at some point.
And one thing they excluded was Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, my two favourite characters, who invented the game of questions. So the game of questions is where each player has to reply to the other player's question with another question, and the first person to get 3 points wins the game. And points are claimed by catching the other player doing a foul. So fouls are, you're not allowed to be grunting. So no person can make false starts or pause for more than a few seconds or otherwise delay the game. No non-sequiturs, so each question must be a direct response to the last question. No repetitions, so you can't repeat questions. No rhetoric, so no rhetorical questions. There's no statements, of course. Everything has to end with a question mark. And no synonyms, so basically a similar thing to no repetitions. You can't just ask a question that means the same thing as a previous question. So we could play a game of questions.
What good would that do?
Just practice, Shaun.
Statement. One love.
Cheating?
How?
I haven't started yet.
Statement. Two love.
Are you counting that?
What?
Are you counting that?
Foul. No repetitions. Free love. First game.
Oh, no. Don't be like that.
Who serve?
Ha.
Foul. No grunts. Love one.
Whose go?
Why?
Why not?
What for?
Foul. No synonyms. 1-1.
What in God's name is going on?
Foul. No rhetoric. 2-1.
What does it all add up to?
Can't you guess?
Were you addressing me?
Is there anyone else?
Who?
How would I know?
Why do you ask?
Are you serious?
Was that rhetoric?
No.
Statement. To all. Game point.
What's the matter with you today?
When?
What?
Are you deaf?
Am I dead?
Yes or no?
Is there a choice?
Is there a God?
Foul. No non-sequiturs. 3-2. 1 game all.
What's your name?
What's yours?
I asked you first.
Statement. 1 love.
What's your name when you're at home?
What's yours?
When I'm at home?
Is it different at home?
What home?
Haven't you got one?
Why do you ask?
What are you driving at?
What's your name?
Repetition. 2 love. Match point to me.
Who do you think you are?
Rhetoric, game and match. Your number 7 film is Saltburn, 2023.
Yes.
Emerald Fennell is the director.
Yeah, so this is when I watched a little further back, so it's hard to me to remember why I liked it as much as I did. It's kind of a fun... Well, should I say fun? It was...
So Barry
liked
Keoghan is at university,
yes,
at an Oxbridge University, I can't remember which,
yes,
and he meets a rich boy,
yes,
he becomes very close friends with, and he goes back to stay at his big castle with his very upper class family.
Yes, it's kind of an interesting way of like seeing him deal with being in a place that he is. That there is that class difference, kind of a power, but you end up through the events of the film, he ends up owning Saltburn, and it seems he's eliminated the various members of the family. So you must reevaluate: was he really uncomfortable? Because I guess that maybe that is what I enjoyed, was that feeling. Looking back, I'm like, wow, I guess he was like a really good actor. Both within him, I guess they're all good actors. But he was particularly good at playing that role of being so out of his depth. And I guess there's one particular bit where he pretends he has like a very bad family. Like, or you could see like I think he said like his family were like maybe drug addicts, or they poor or just in a very bad place, and then they end up visiting his family, and they're just normal like middle class family,
people,
and that is a big shock, I think, for his friend and for us as the audience. It was a surprise, and it's just a film full of surprises, and it's visually beautiful, I guess. Just I mean the setting was really great, and it's just
a slightly gross out film too, isn't it?
Comedy as well. Yeah,
So
there were odd bits. Like he seems to be quite obsessed with some of the characters, and some stuff was quite in private. And it's just like, well, what was that? I guess like he was obsessed with Saltburn enough to want it, but like, he had some odd interests.
So my question is, Shaun, what is your kink? Is it drinking bath water that someone's bathed in, or performing cunnilingus to someone who's on their period?
Oh, the latter.
The latter, okay. We'll move on to your 7th pick of the year. The Tearsmith, 2024. Alessandro Genovese.
Yes.
Genoveses.
Yeah, probably the guiltiest pleasure on the list.
So you would call this film a guilty pleasure?
I guess it's I guess it's a romance film of sorts. It was just a lazy watch on a Sunday when I had nothing better to do. But it was fun, I guess, in its own way.
What is it roughly about?
It's about a girl who her parents die and she's sent to an orphanage, and she has a very difficult time at the orphanage. The lady who runs it is beats, I think, a lot of the children in particular. She's quite poorly treated, and then eventually she is adopted, and they also take the adopted parents take a boy from the orphanage as well. He's kind of very talented, and so they take the two of them, and the guy and the girl have a very difficult start. They didn't get on very well, but over time, they get on quite well, and so there's romantic development, and I guess there's a sub theme. Eventually, she decides to press charges against the lady who ran the orphanage, and so there's kind of a court case about that. So that occurs, and I don't know. That's kind of a brief summary of the film, and
So a little birdie has told me, Shaun, this is on the Letterboxd bottom 250 rated narrative films. So what do you have to say?
Yeah, this was a surprise. I gave my rating and not knowing that it was quite poorly regarded.
1 point something, isn't it?
Yeah, as I say, like I'm aware, like if you think about almost any of it, it's kind of a disaster. Not maybe a disaster. It's poorly done. I can recognise why others would think poorly of it. I just had a bit of a laugh.
Because I was interested, because I thought you were a staunch defender of this film, but you opened up saying it was a guilty pleasure, which suggests that you are somewhat aware that it's not.
It's like you can. I believe in like enjoying trash to some degree, knowing something is bad, but like saying I had a very good time.
But that's what I'm getting at.
I can see it's no
it's
masterpiece. I recognise this. No.
Okay, you are accepting that it's a bad film that you enjoy.
Yes.
You're not making a stand.
I would not recommend it to almost anyone.
Okay.
I can't imagine anyone I could in good faith recommend it to, but yes, I did enjoy it, and it was, what was that, position 7 on my list? So
6 on your list.
Position 6,
goodness. I misspoke. Yeah. So number 5, Fantastic Planet, 1973 by René Laloux.
Yes. So this, how would I even describe it? About a planet with some. It's hard to tell whether the people are small or the other characters are large, but there is at least a size difference. There are two groups of people on this planet. One of them is human beings who are very small relative to the other characters who are the kind of bluish creatures, and I believe the blue creatures have a longer lifespan. It's been a little while since I watched it, but I think they had like a longer life.
Yeah,
That's kind of a part of it. And it tells the story of a human who is raised as kind of a pet of one of these blue beings, who is themselves like a child, and the human is present for the lessons. There's kind of like these like headphones, I think, playing like history or just general like lessons, and then the human escapes and finds like groups of wild humans who are hunted for sport, or as well as pests.
Just exterminated, aren't they? They're basically treated either as pets or pests.
Yes, yeah. And they share the knowledge. They bring these headphones, this equipment, and teach the other people about the world. And they face more hunting, but eventually they manage to find like an isolated enough spot that they're able to develop some degree of science. They build rockets and try to escape. And the thing ended up coming up with kind of a compromise. I think they might have kind of threatened the blue people with something. I think they found their recreations.
They found how they mate, and they sort of threatened that.
Yes, and they eventually come to some kind of compromise. I can't quite remember the end, but it seemed like they came to a compromise of sorts.
It's an animated film.
Yes.
So it's very kind of stylized animation. That's kind of almost like a storybook.
Yeah, I really liked the way it looked, and it's kind of just interesting premise, and I'd say that's sort of saying the way it looked was somewhat probably the higher value of it, like the character design and the way it was animated and such.
It's got quite an intentionally like sort of languid pace that's sort of kind of like vaguely not dreamy, but it's got
I can see
it's
that.
got like a slow pace. It's not like necessarily like this action packed movie, which I think sort of makes it more like a storybook kind of vibe to it, and it's kind of appropriate for children, but it's sort of dark in places.
It's the kind of thing you'd be like for children with parental supervision. That I can imagine that PG maybe. And
I think it's so and it's very allegorical about how humans interact with animals by placing the humans in the role as the animals, basically. Number 4 is you have A Life on the Farm, 2022, directed by Oscar Harding.
Yes, so this charts the life of a chap who
Charles
Carson, yes, yeah, who has a farm, and it kind of, there's a few different sections of it, but it occasionally covers he worked in like Edinburgh, I think, or he's in Scotland for most of his life, but then he came to his family's, his parents' farm, and sort of was there for sort of the end of their life, and then was on the farm on his own. And he recorded himself on the farm doing stuff like helping, I believe it's a cow give birth, and he shots his cat, burying his cat. There's various odd bits, and it's an explanation of like, I guess, why he did it to some degree. Was he struggling mentally, perhaps having seen it going through the loss of his parents, a bit lonely, or there's various odd bits, but it's just fun and sad and just intriguing and happy. There's parts like he entered some of his footage into competitions and won, and you feel quite good for him in that way. It was quite a lot of emotions, I think, during that film.
It's very his sort of outsider art, his films, and they're very amateurly made but very characterful. That they have like shocking moments, or very macabre moments, or very humorous moments. And his relationship with like life and death on living with a farm is very direct.
There's something that to a lot of like he had to do with his own parents' death, and he eventually passed away himself, obviously. Well, not most, but he did eventually pass away. But I think there's lessons to be taken from that. There's the cycle of life and being okay with that and accepting it and being joyful in the time you do have, I guess.
Number 3, The Cremator, 1969 by Jura Hertz.
So it's oddly humorous. It kind of tells the story of a man who works at a crematorium,
in Czechoslovakia.
In Czechoslovakia, yeah. And there is this kind of background element of the coming of the Holocaust, and I guess and the Nazis being there, and him having to change his own life, but I think he adapts because he is just very focused on his work within the crematorium, and I think it's somewhere just
he believes in Buddhism.
Yeah, he has
Tibetan Buddhism.
A unique philosophy that he believes he is kind of doing a public service. I think that he feels good about releasing people,
releasing souls by burning their bodies. Yeah.
And I think there's the bit towards the end where he sees he's offered a role burning many people. That was odd, but it's he's just a very unique character. Seeing him, I found it fun, but also just weird. It's some of fun, but I enjoyed it.
It's a very kind of surreal black comedy about how normalist people can very easily conform to whatever power structures get put in place. Because I think the Nazis were quite a peaceful takeover of Czechoslovakia.
Yeah,
it wasn't much of an invasion. It was very much a change of government almost. I think there might have been some conflict, but
at least within his own life it's relatively peaceful. There's certainly bits of like new people coming in, or people within his life changing their attitudes, and he has to do that and go to parties and just change, say the right things to keep himself safe. And he sacrifices his own family because there are questions of Jewish
ancestry
and so on
from his wife.
He has some difficulty with that, but he does what he does what it takes to survive and continue his work. So that was and
it's got shot in a very strange off-kilter way with a lot of wide-angle lenses, and there's some fisheye lenses which they had to go to France to get. So it's part of the Czechoslovak New Wave movement. It was was this sort of dark and absurd sort of film movement that was happening in communist Czechoslovakia after the Nazi occupation, and they were all very much looking back and commenting on the Nazi years, but also through like sort of allegory and metaphor commenting on the current communist years. Like a lot of these good Czechoslovak New Wave films, despite its sort of metaphor, it was still banned by the communist censors, so it was banned. But the cremator, it's got one interesting thing in how the scenes move between scenes. It's all very match cuts.
Yes.
So you can easily lose a sense of scenes changing. He's like talking to somebody, and then it pulls out, the camera pulls out, and he's actually talking to someone else in a different location than you thought he was before. So there's a lot of stuff like that is very fluid way. It's almost like if it was a book, it wouldn't have any like sort of ellipses or scene transitions. It would just kind of continue the paragraph, but suddenly you're in a new location without telling you. So that's an interesting shooting style. Number 2, you got Civil War 2024, directed by Alex Garland.
Yeah, it's a very emotional film, and that is fascinating because it kind of covers it's sort of set, I guess, in the near future where the United States has a civil war going on. The president is a dictator, and the politics are left vaguely unclear, but there are certain parts of the US which it seems seceded and are trying to overthrow the president, and it focuses on a group of journalists who are trying to tell that story, keep themselves safe, but to tell that story. And they follow the journey. They take their own journey to Washington and eventually chart the killing of the president. It's odd because depictions of war are so common in cinema. It's easy to get kind of numb to them. But it's hard for me. I don't have to tell why, but I found it quite affecting in a way, just seeing certain acts of violence, and just. I mean, there's bits where people just sick just seeing. There's one scene with like a pile of bodies and they're being put into a pit, and you never know like who are the people who've been killed, who are the people putting them in there. But just seeing it, and yeah, it affects the characters. It affected me, and I just came out impressed, and also just it was just very effective in an interesting way, I guess. That depiction of violence. Yeah, I don't know. It was very effective.
Okay. I didn't like this at all. I won't rain on your second pick.
Sure.
But yeah, I did not find I had a lot of issues myself. But yeah, there's a lot of it's got Kirsten Dunst, who we already mentioned, Jesse Plemons, who we already mentioned, so a lot of returning characters.
Yeah, it had like a very good
cast, good performances. I will say. But yeah, so Civil War by Alex Garland. And number 1, It's a Beautiful Day, 2012 by Dunn Hertzfeld.
Yeah, this was fantastic. I really liked it. It tells the story of a character who is always a bit different, I guess you could say. But it kind of charts he has, I think, some form of brain cancer, perhaps. But it kind of tells the story of him, his mental decline, I guess, and as he kind of loses his grip on reality, I guess, to some extent. And I think there was part of just, at least particularly in the early parts, just telling about his life. It's kind of mundane, I guess, but he's maybe has some interesting way of looking at life, or and I guess a part of the value is just the narrative. I guess it's kind of it's like a drawn like a very slow animation in that way.
It's Stickmen, and they're animated Stickmen, but it's done on a 1940s rostrum animation stand. So it's a camera that's facing down, and you have like a workspace beneath it, which you place each frame, and it sort of photos that. And then he did multiple exposures, because a big part of the film is that there's different things happening in different segments of the screen. So your eyes sort of move over the screen, because each corner or whatever might have a different image going on. So yeah, it's a very kind of deceptively simple looking animation style that's actually very complex and cumbersome to actually have achieved. But I think that's part of how affecting it is that it looks like it's just Stickmen. Yeah, it's quite an emotional and affecting film.
Yeah, and so
as well as being comedic.
Yeah, so I appreciate the effort that went and the way it looks, and also I think the story is narrated very well. It's kind of like the guy does it has like a very neutral voice, I guess. I don't know, but I think the wording was just quite good. I get. A lot of it's just
like a diaristic stream of consciousness. What you're sort of thinking.
Yeah, it's just like it's very internal monologues. It's very raw and honest, I guess, in some ways, and I guess it's one of the things. A lot of stuff you wouldn't maybe say out loud, but like that you feel to some extent, or to cover sometimes he just like has a lazy day, or like eating. I think a part of it does with his breakup of a relationship, and I guess there's part of like a depressive part of that. But yeah, and just his family dealing with his needing support, and they're not really as supportive as I think he could have done with, but some characters are there for him to some extent. But yeah, it gets surreal in some parts as he becomes less able to track what's going on, and so that was narratively interesting. But yeah, it was just a very mostly affecting film. I really, really appreciated it. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's Shaun's top 10 films that you've seen in 2024.
Yes.
Let's look forward to another year of movies.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you have any that you are aware of coming up, or is it just going to be
I'm not really sure. The last few I've had given very low ratings. I've picked films that have been
off to a false start.
It's been a poor start. And the next few films I'm thinking of, I don't expect to be good, so that's not.
Okay.
Good. Like, I think you've seen at least one of them and didn't seem to like it too much. But I intend to watch it anyway. Just why not?
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sure there'll be some good stuff later this year. So.
We'll see then. At the end of next year, we'll catch up.
Absolutely.
And see what if the trajectory changed at all. But maybe if you do watch some other films throughout the year, Shaun, we can have a little cinema report section from you. But yeah, let's just check in with Shay, shall we? Shay, any callers? No.
Oh dear.
Okay, well.
I thought we'd have some by now, but
yeah,
we've got a bit of time left.
Yeah, I think we're just looking at Shaun's big monitor money counter thing he's bought in. Yeah. That's still on 0.
I might need to put some money. I've heard it said that if you like money, it's good to put money in to get people started.
Money makes money.
Money makes money. So
okay.
I might put.
Do you have a pen? Do you have any cash? I don't have any cash on me.
I don't.
Well.
I think some of the BBC staff even call out.
But it's automated. No one will come to us.
Oh dear. You're right.
There's no staff in this building.
I wish I'd thought to bring some money with me. Unfortunately.
Well, maybe when Sabrina Carpenter turns up.
Oh, she might have some money.
I'm sure she'll have a bit of money, won't she? To put in. Okay. Well, let's move on to the taste test. Espresso. It's liquid. Okay, so we're back in taste test. This is just quite a little taste test, but I thought we still got stuff left over from Ronnie the Ration Rat. I'm sure still edible because ration.
I was just going to ask about the expiry date. It has been quite a while since we first got this pack.
It has been quite a while. It's been a year, hasn't it? Probably. Yeah. But we were in the house of Mogi Mogi when we first.
I have fond memories. Yes.
I think it'd be nice if Ronnie the Ration Rat came back one day, but I don't know if he knows the new address.
I never told him.
No, so we might not ever see him again. But oh well, But yeah, I look. What I got, Shaun, we got a tortilla.
Okay.
I think it's vegan.
In general, I'd hope so. Yes.
And to go on that tortilla, we have peanut butter and strawberry jam. Okay, so I thought we could open up the tortilla out of this beige packaging, and then we could put a bit of strawberry jam on it and a bit of peanut butter on it. And quite a classic combo actually, but I thought maybe we could do them separately to be able to judge them.
Yes.
Sufficiently. Well, Shaun, it smells alright, and it's got one of these.
Desiccant.
What are they called?
I think desiccant. It absorbs water.
Okay, so it seems to be quite well packaged. So I'm sure I can't see any rot on it, Shaun. Okay. So I think this is probably going to be alright. Okay. These tortillas.
That was quite a solid flop onto the plate, but
they're quite odd. Okay, a reminder, these are from Canada's military, and Shaun's taking a picture of the plain tortillas. So, what do you want to try first, Shaun? Peanut butter or...
I'll start. I think I'm more optimistic about the peanut butter, so I will take instead the strawberry jam.
Okay,
so
I'm tearing my tortilla in half.
Okay, good idea.
If you would also like to
I will do the same. Ooh, this is... I guess it's a regular texture.
Here's a strawberry jam. Sorry if we're a bit slow on this because it's Canadian. Everything's written in French and English, so sometimes it's a bit tricky to decipher what's written on each packet.
Yeah, it takes a moment to identify which one we're meant to read. I know some French, but it's been a while. I don't think I could read even though I peek. I don't think I could have read these words.
Okay, so I'm opening up the strawberry jam. It's in like a satchel, but quite a big one. Okay, let's squeeze some of. Ooh. Okay, I do have a knife.
Yeah, I think it's going to be necessary. This is some quite viscous jam.
There we go.
Wow, that's solid. That is.
It's quite a solid jelly of a jam, isn't it? I'm going to fold my tortilla with this jam. Do you want to take a photo?
I will. Yes. Before it has been consumed.
It's a dark red in colour. So what are you expecting? Are you expecting this to be fine?
I think it would be fine. I'm not a huge jam fan, but I expect it to be within the realm of jam.
Squeezing it. It's definitely strawberry. last time we had jam on the podcast, it was obviously those weird medlar fruits. So it's good to get into a bit more mainstream jam flavours. Tortillas are fine. Jam's fine. If you needed a bit of an emergency sugar.
No, that's actually pleasant. Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
That's perfectly fine. Like everything else in this ration pack, I think it's perfectly fine. I mean, I remember that shepherd's pie I think I had. There was concern over that being raw, but it was fine. And we had that big fruit cake. Remember that?
Yes, yeah.
That was very solid. But no, this was very light and very edible. And I think the perfect amount of jam to go into one tortilla.
It was. I thought it was too much, but no, it was the perfect amount. So, yeah.
And now we got the second tortilla left, which we split in half, which we're going to put the peanut butter, which I can only assume will be the perfect amount of peanut butter to go on the tortilla. So what do you think of peanut butter when I open this, Shaun?
Just kind of yellow? I don't know
how
to describe it.
I mean, like, not your opinions rather than
I quite like.
No, like peanut butter.
Okay. Yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it? I don't think it's not one of the things I've really had like much. It's one of the I say like normally I'm mixing with so much that it's like this will probably be the most raw in the sense I've had it. But yeah, it's quite pleasant. It tastes like peanut, I guess. Yeah. I know. Are you a peanut butter fan?
I don't have. I used to have it quite a lot actually, and I just don't anymore. So I used to be a peanut butter fan, and for whatever reason, it's just not part of my normal diet. I used to be on like crackers and stuff. Back when I wanted more like protein and stuff, when I was actually going to the gym, it was a good thing. But yeah, I don't have it much anymore. I think I used to actually put in smoothies too, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
I used to make like blueberry and peanut butter smoothies, if I'm not misremembering. But it didn't really mix. It didn't sort of mix. It doesn't really blend very well, to be honest, peanut butter, because it's quite thick.
Yes.
So it just sticks to the side of the blender, and you kind of just get streaks of peanut butter, really, in the smoothie. And it's showing that quality by being quite hard to tease out of the packs, but I think we got.
Yeah, once we roll it up, it will do its job.
Okay, I think we're ready.
Yes.
Again, that's peanut butter. It tastes exactly as you would expect, and exactly as you want peanut butter to taste. I find peanut butter can be a bit salty sometimes,
okay.
but I think this is quite a good balance. I don't know if it's got it.
Yeah, it's my first time eating peanut butter in this volume, and ideally it would have more stuff to go alongside it. It's not great on its own, but it's fine. It's like adequate.
I think perhaps the intent would have been you could put the strawberry jam and the peanut butter
that would be interesting
together.
But it's still, I think, pleasant enough.
But I think this shows that the Canadian military aren't being given gruel.
No.
They're given proper food that tastes quite nice and obviously lasts a fair amount of time.
Well, we hope.
We hope.
For now,
as far as we can tell at the moment, unless something horrible happens in the BBC studio toilets later, I think we should be fine. But yeah, that's taste test. I think that's all we got time for. We do have a few more stuff left in running the ration package, mainly drinks.
Yes.
So we'll try some of them another time, but I see the stopwatch is ticking. We only got a limited time in the studio. So let's not bother checking with Shay, because I'm feeling a bit too depressed about that. So I think maybe we'll just save him to the end of the episode, and hope he's got some news for us then.
Yes.
So moving swiftly on, next segment coming up is Shaun's wellness workshop.
Yes.
Espresso. It's coffee in a little cup. So usually, Shaun, we go to your wellness workshop. That's sort of built on the side of your house.
Yes.
Though it's been blown away by the wind recently. You said.
Yes, that's right. We've had some poor weather, and so I'm working on getting it rebuilt, but I think it could take a little while.
Yeah.
So
and it wouldn't be practical for us to leave the BBC studio and go back. We're in Cardiff right now, and go back to the house of sizzling tofu and do this segment.
It's a bit of a commute, and we wouldn't be able to bring the speakers with us. So I think we'll do our best to do it here.
We can't bring the speaker.
We'll bring the mood of the workshop at least, if not the physical structure.
Yeah. So yeah, Shaun, what's your... Well, so let's just pretend, I'm in the wellness workshop.
Yes, welcome. Good to have you here.
I've been starved of wellness. I could have done with a lot when I was in that hospital from the charity shop showdown disaster, which we won't ever address.
Yes.
But I could have done with some wellness then. But what's some belated wellness you can offer me?
So this is one. I'm still in the early stages. It's kind of an idea I've been
experimental.
Is that time of as we're approaching the New Year period? I've been kind of thinking about, what do I want to change, and the theme that's been coming to mind is something I'm provisionally calling structured thinking. Because it's a sip of water. So something I realised is there's a lot of time in the day where I think, and my thinking is quite unstructured a lot of the time. I mean, there are times when I'm talking to someone, or I have some kind of stimulus that causes me to think about something, but a lot of the day my mind is free to wander, and I have a feeling that I'm kind of wasting a lot of the time, that time that I just think about nonsense that is just kind of pointless. So I've been trying to think about what are things I should be thinking about that I'm not thinking about, and how can I create structures that encourage me to think about those things. So one example is films, actually. I spend a fair amount of time watching films, but then I end up forgetting about them, because after I've watched them, I just never think about them again, and then I just have no idea what I've watched. So I've been trying to do a better job of journaling the films I watch. And then another thing is just like life. I end up forgetting a lot of what I've been up to. I have times where I do something fun or cool, and I just never think about it again, and then I forget about it. So I'm trying to journal more. But then I'm trying to think about what, and this is one I'll cast out to you, whatever. What are the things I should be thinking about that I'm not? That are something I should try and create some structure to think about.
Okay, well, I think so. A lot of this, sort of having a review phase to your life in reflecting on things and experiences and documenting them. So I agree with stuff like films. I do keep a private film journal where I write about every film I watch, not with the intent of anyone ever reading it. But I think it does help you reflect on something like a film. Think about it a little bit. Stop it from just being like a throwaway experience that you forget, and just putting pen to paper or however you do it does help you remember things. But what you should be thinking about, and you're not, that's a hard question, Shaun. Some people might say perhaps you should be thinking about the West Bank and Palestine a bit more.
Yes,
but
this is true.
It's a hard, or should you be thinking about the flowers and the little details in life that should you be watching little raindrops
that
fall
is
down your window?
One of those things. I think that's maybe an idea I've had to some degree of trying to get to. I've been on and off of this is photography. It's like a useful way to pay attention to things. I've had mixed success with actually doing that. Okay. But that's a good point. Just taking more attention to the world around me.
Or maybe pause when you take a first bite out of a meal.
Yes, I think food is a good one where I oftentimes mindlessly eat and not really paying much attention to it, trying to be more present when eating. I think is a good idea. Yeah.
But although I do think there's a dangerous element to this wellness workshop, Shaun, about structured thinking. Right. Is there's an element you become too fascist about your thoughts, in that you regulate them so much, or you feel you can have wasted thoughts. Or whatever, do you think that you're not letting your brain relax?
Yeah, there's value in having some time to just think about nonsense. And I think it's important to leave some time.
Let your mind wander. Do you think you might be choking your creativity if you put these rigid planned schedules of thought into your life? I don't.
Yeah, I think there'll be work. I think I want to bring more of this into my life, but not too much. I think everything has to be done in moderation, and I think this is going to be one of those things.
So it's a moderated, structured thought thinking and diary writing.
Yeah, diary writing is probably, I think, going to be like a common theme of that. I think, and then the other thing that I need to work on more is then I actually have to go back and read the stuff I've written. Writing it gives you one more chance to think about it, but I then revisit those things. And it's still working out. I think a common thing will be, once I've written something, if I've got the thing open, it's a good time to then pick some older entries, but there's still a question of which entries do I revisit and how I go about that. Okay. I don't know, but yeah.
Okay, well, very interesting. I would like to hear perhaps a bit more about your work in progress diary, Shaun.
Yes.
Perhaps you could say if you have come up with a good way to revisit things, or what value you get from revisiting and dwelling on past entries. And I think there's a little sad emoji popping up on the screen showing us that we're running out of time in the BBC studio.
Yes, it's an interesting system they've chosen, but it makes me feel a bit better than some knocking the door, but yes.
Yeah, though who knows, there might be a robot arm knocking on the door or something if we really... I don't know what happens if we just stay in this room.
I can imagine them turn the lights out. I think that's like a good sign.
Yeah, I think the lights will turn out, that's true.
It's always quite scary when that happens in the bathroom, and when you're in like a certain venue and you're like, oh no.
I find when you got bathrooms with motion sensor lights and
I'm waving my arm about,
you have to wave your arm and then you knock the hairdryer and that turns on. But I think we've got enough. We got time to do the closing admin.
Yes.
So we obviously don't have any letters because they're all just in the house of Mogi sizzling tofu. We couldn't bring the sacks with us on the train. Shaun already had his hands full.
Absolutely, yes.
And I didn't really have anything to take on the train, to be honest, but I just didn't bring them. And there's a slight confusion in the timeline because me and Shaun obviously got the train here together. Yeah, somehow I kept him waiting outside the studio, but you can fill in that yourselves.
Absolutely. Yes. We don't have to give everything away.
That mystery. There's a mystery there, isn't there, that people can dwell on. Write in, because we've obviously, the letters have died down because we haven't recorded something for such a long time. So perhaps you can write in your theories about what happened there. I hope everyone sort of enjoyed this return episode. Perhaps less grandiose than usual. We haven't had any big topics that we researched, or we haven't had much stuff that we brought along with us. But I think it's a good thing to stretch our legs again.
Absolutely, it's gotten us back. It's been a good introductory one. Gets us back into the mood, ready to build up for next time. Yes.
If there's a next time, because the purpose of this episode was to hopefully get you all listening.
Yes.
To start doing something. Can we say funny for money, or is that copyrighted?
I don't. I like to think not. We'll say it, and we'll
do something do something entertaining for the economy.
Yes, absolutely. It's good to support the economy.
Not the general, like our economy.
Our economy in particular. Yes, that's true. They do say charity begins at home. Yes, my home, the House of Sizzling Tofu. Please do support it.
Let's check in with Shay then. Anyone called in, Shay?
Fingers crossed.
Oh, there is one.
Yes. Thank goodness.
Shaun, do you want to take this call then, Shaun?
Yes. Please hand over, Shay. Thank you. Here we go. Yes.
Hello
there.
Hello, I'm just calling to say that I raised a bit of money for you.
That's good. Can you tell me how much money that was?
Yeah, well, I've been collecting stamps all my life, and I sold my entire stamp collection.
My goodness.
So I've got you £10,000.
Whoa!
Yay! Wow, that saved the podcast. That'll be enough to buy a new mic, wouldn't it?
Oh well, let's turn that number down up. Wow.
Oh, thank you. That podcast, Shaun and John's House Party podcast has been saved. Wow, What a brilliant end to the episode.
I feel bad. I never did catch his name, but I do thank our anonymous listener.
Your scale has got. You don't even have enough headroom on your thermometer thing to measure that £10,000.
I did not anticipate this much money. I think this keeps us going for like a year.
We'll get a new mic, and then the rest will be spent on behind the scenes stuff.
I was thinking of replacing my boiler, so it might help cover that to keep us warm over the winter months.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, good plan. I might go on holiday.
Yeah,
cool. Well, thank you everyone. Thank you for listening. And do you have a parting joke, Shaun?
Oh, that listener. Okay. Jokes on them.